Woo, let's go. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Deconstructing Topic podcast. My name is David, and I'm your host of the legendary podcast, the Deconstructing Topic podcast. I told you guys, I'm coming in hard, no funny stuff. I'm telling the word and I'm sharing my point of view on certain things, certain topics. So we bring you this little fun little video going on here. We making it happen. Let's go. Woo. And always feel free to hit that like button, share, all that good stuff. And I just decided, you know what? Let me just go over one of the most recent podcasts that I did, and it's called The Thin Line Between Activism and Opportunism. Opportunism. Woo! Let's go, Joe. Let's say it. That just came out of nowhere. I love it. I wasn't born in this country. I was born in Puerto Rico. So don't mind my accent. I got a little accent of New York, Puerto Rico, all mashed up together that makes this podcast so cool to listen to wherever you go. And one of the things that I said, you know what, let me do a little thing. It's not going to be a little crazy long video, but one of my pet peeves, pet peeves, for those that are not familiar with the word pet peeve, it's something that kind of bothers you, in a sense. And one of my pet peeves, one of the things that kind of get to me is the fact that in my community, right? Power to the people community, the black community, Puerto Rican community, Dominican, Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, all that, whatever it is that you want to add, is that a lot of times we pick and choose the battles that we want to fight, right? And, I'm going to kind of concentrate on a couple of things here. And in regards to what was it? There was a couple of weeks or maybe a month ago in regards to the ICE raids and the deportation and whatever. And I tend to kind of, how can I say it to you? It just gets to me that we tend as people, and that's why sometimes I always say, and I'm in New York City, I'm in the Bronx, whatever, to boogie down. And I always tell people, why is it that we on the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of something? And when we, start to cry, we need justice, we need this, we pick and choose who we fighting with, who we are fighting against, and we are choosy about the battles that we pick. And in regards to the deportation, am I saying it right? Deportation. Basically, I'm gonna grab because you just illegal here. Get back to you, whatever the country. I'm not a big fan of that thing there because sometimes it gives power to do things that you are not meant to just do, right? You deport people, that's your job. But then you start doing these surveillance like, oh, who's there in the hood? Who's there chilling? You okay, my boy Mario, Tyrone? I see you guys working together. You know what I'm saying? On some crazy shit. So, just got to sometimes take it with a grain of salt. So, in regards to deportation, and my understanding, yeah, a lot of my people, the community at whole here, the black community, Puerto Rican community, they go out there. That's where, the Mexican, hey, deportation, we against it, whatever, Trump this, Trump that. And there are people that I listen to, very independent-minded people who are saying, look, I'm with you. Well, we about that fight, right? But then if stats or statistics show that under the previous administration of Biden and under Barack Obama administration years ago, two Democrats, why is it that you and let's say these grassroots movement that have people that live long enough to understand that that's what's happening, like why you don't wasn't picky even on the last thing with Biden, like why you didn't go out there and do these anti-immigrant rallies the way you're doing it with Trump when stats have shown that deportation under Biden is equal, if not more than, Trump or something to that effect. And that's my thing with these activists is that we fight the fight depending on who it is in charge. And I don't like that because it tells us as people is that we are manipulated and controlled by certain people in this country. And when you're gonna go out there talking about we fight the fight, the injustice is all this nonsense, I'm like, I'm with you. But if you're gonna fight Orange Man here, you better fight this Sleepy Joe over here, and that's just me, poking fun. I don't want to make fun of any politician here, but I just saying, the way that people portray Donald J. Trump, the current president of the United States, and the previous president Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he's always like, and then Orange Man, he's like, man, he took that from me, honestly. I'm very hands gesture. He got that from me, but you know what? I ain't gonna sue the dude, but I'm gonna tell him, hey, better watch your back, brother, because that's my thing. I'm very hand gesture, so it's one of those things that when we come to certain fights, we are so just picky and choosy, and I don't like that. And I remember years ago, for those people who remember Colin Kaepernick, let me see. Don't mind me, Colin Kaepernick, bending knee. Let's see. All right, so if you guys remember the situation with Cap here, bending the knee here on the national anthem and all that, talking about the things that how can I say police brutality and injustice and so on. And then look, listen, I'm with that, right? The situation that happened here, and I remember Jim Brown who passed a couple of years ago. Jim Brown was a former football player who did that thing back. He was a great football player in the 50s, but he did that thing where he was fighting in the civil rights movement. He was in trenches in the 60s. The man put some work. And I remember there were interviews and with Jim Brown, and for some reason, you got to respect Jim Brown. He did a lot of dirty work. Remember, Jim Brown was living and playing in the most racist time in America. And I'm not even going to say the most racist. I'm just saying because it could, Jim Crow areas 100 years ago, whatever the case. But the 60s compared to the 2000s, two separate decades. And these people put in the work because there was segregation. There was this. I mean, there was in the South, there was certain even areas that in the North, segregation, the black here, the white here, whatever it is. And, if you see some interviews with Jim Brown, he was kind of like, okay, I'm with the brother, and it's kind of my same sentiment, but what? Then what? What was the end game here? And then even there was a couple of former football players that kind of said, okay, Cap, you want us to be in your side. But remember, it's our money here, whatever it is, we've taken a risk, but then what are you exactly doing? And then I think that the situation got stagnated. Cap did some things there. But my thing, what happened? And I always remember, because I'm always in that mindset where I'm like, you know what, Cap, I'm just saying here, like, okay, what's the end game? You know what I mean? I'm with you. Because I remember there was a long time ago, Carlos Delgado, Puerto Rico. At that time, it was a Mets play. He didn't stand up for the national anthem. That was the situation where Vieques is a little island that's part of Puerto Rico, but because Puerto Rico belongs to the United States, that means that United States Armed Forces, Navy, whatever it is, was using that little island as a test bomb. They drop a missile or something by mistake, kill a civilian, the rest is history. And I think Carlos Delgado was one of those people, for people to understand. And sadly, when you sit, and even Mahmoud Abdul Rauf back in the 90s, if you sit to make a statement, or, in terms of the national anthem, the media tends to pounce on you because now you make you anti-American and so on. And sadly, they construed the message. And with Cap here, it's like, okay, Cap. But then you start talking about this and that and that and that and that. I think, my understanding, Cap was, against this, whiteness or whatever it is. But then you got adopted by white people. I'm just saying, right? He was adopted. His parents are white who adopted him and gave him a beautiful life. And he became this beautiful man, football player. And one of those things where Cap, right? Then I remember the next thing, he's taking money from Nike. And last time I checked, and then, you become a capitalist activist. Last time I checked, Nike, right? putting price tag on these expensive Nikes. And in the hood, growing up, if you had Jordans, or even if you had some sneakers that were a certain price, there's people in the hood that don't got it like that. There's people in the hood that got it like that. And there's people in the hood, a lot of people that don't got it like that. And you know what? They see that. Yo, you're going to be on a chokehold. Give me your sneakers. Hey, man, listen, when I was young, I got robbed for a pair of Nikes. And we're talking about, early 90s. That was like a $50 pair of sneakers. And I remember I'm walking in the hood. Dude took out a gun. It was like 2 or 3 kids. And I kept on saying no. And then they put me on a choke when they took my sneakers, because my thing was, that was a birthday gift for my mom's. And we're talking about $50 back in 92, 93, whatever. Come on. But that's the stuff that happened in the hood. It happens everywhere. But, in our hood, that's what happens. We can't be like not hiding about the things that don't happen in the hood. So Cap over here, taking money from Nike over here. And then that's why you become, once again, a capitalist opportunist, which, again, not a fan of. The other thing, too, and the interesting story, going back to the deportation story, right? And this is Khalid Browder here. And the Khalid Browder story is one of the saddest stories. One that it's personal, because the young kid, he, how can I say, grew up in the Bronx, or was born in the Bronx. And he was accused of stealing a book bag. And he was accused of stealing a book bag by an immigrant, right? Mexican. And this happened in the Bronx, you feel me? And this young man sadly self-deleted, committed suicide because of the stress after that incident. And, people probably going to listen to me and be like, damn, D, we got our little dirty laundries in the hood, don't tell nobody, come on. I go back to the deportation situation. What is deportation? Deporting different people from different countries. There's a lot of Mexican, Salvadorian, Central American, South American. A lot of them in New York City, they live in the hood. They live in the hood, in the ghettos with the black people, right? With the black community, the Puerto Rican community, that we've been here forever. Matter of fact, black community, the Puerto Rican community, we've been fighting for this country in World War I on behalf of this country more than the people that are coming over here, to be honest with you. Hey, listen, reparation for those neighborhoods. So those individuals come here, the Mexicans, right? They live in amongst us. Hey, listen, we working hard, we doing it. And one of the things that I've noticed, and the laundry that I'm gonna say, is this. And it also goes Puerto Rican, but Puerto Rican in the black neighborhood, we tight, we tight, bro. But sadly, the Mexican, Central American, even I think Dominican, when they come to this country, their parents, right? Especially if you're young, your parents tell you, hey, mira, Mario, mira, Maria, hey, I just gonna tell you, if something happened to you, you blame it on them, and them would be the black community. And that's what happened with Khalid Browder. Khalid Browder was accused of stealing a book bag, which never happened by an immigrant, a Mexican immigrant. I'm just gonna be straight up. And that's what happened in the hood. And then, and I said to myself, you see, the people, once again, who are like, hey, don't deport this. There's a lot of Mexicans, Central Americans, South America. They work hard. They put money. That's all fine and dandy. I hear you. But what you don't know is that a lot of these people, a lot of these immigrants from different places, especially, Mexican, South American, Central American, you put them in the hood to destroy the black neighborhood. That's what it is. I live in an area, there's a lot of Ecuadorian, they own houses and all that. I'm like, well, where's the black people? When I see black people of color, black. I see Jamaican. I see some of the Guyanese, West Indian. How is it that West Indian, South American, Central American, Mexican get to own more property, more homes in New York City than the black community that once again fought for this country, right? World War I, World War II, Vietnam, all that. Think about it, man. So I go back to these activists and opportunism. Is that you You're gonna pick and fight that fight, but you can't fight. Oh, Biden was president. You can't do the same thing. If let's just say Kamala Harris or Democrat, Alejandra, AOC, whatever the case might be. If those people out there go and be like they become president, and the same thing happens at the end, because even if you go to that website, it's a website where it tells people the rights about if ICE comes over here. There's a little card that they give to undocumented workers, your rights. And even in the bottom, it says it doesn't matter what president, these people will do whatever they got to do because that's their job. You know what I'm saying? And with young brother right here, Khalid Browder, who then went to Rikers, the kid went through a lot, man. And what happens? He try to go back in the neighborhood, try to tell his story on TV, what's going on. But the one story that people were not talking about was that story. Because that's not the sexy, that's not where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let my immigrants and black people kill each other. You know what I mean? Crime is high in our neighborhood, poverty and so on, because poverty is the number one killer here. With poverty, it leads to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Nobody in the hood grows up to be a criminal. People, start doing crime because of lack of a lot of stuff, a lack of knowledge, lack of nutrition that we could be bringing to these people. And again, people are so selective. Oh, let's fight this and we can't let this. But then these same people that you're fighting for, it's the same people that are living in these neighborhoods, and they're the same people that are going to accuse people like Khalid Browder of something that they didn't do. And guess what? Khalid Browder is not here to tell that story. The people that are alive is the Mexican kid that accused Khalid Browder of stealing the book bag. You feel me? So that's my take on that situation. Oh, I could be talking forever. But once again, feel free to Deconstructing Topic Podcast. This is my YouTube here. Let me go to my, how can I say, pop bean situation here. Once again, this is good. Listen to this. You could listen to my, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, any place that you listen to a platform. It's Deconstructing Topic Podcast. There you go. Look at that beautiful logo. Ooh-wee. Let's make it happen. Once again, for those people out there, those people that want to be activists, please, if you are a so-called activist who's claiming to want to fight on behalf of the pigeons, don't wait until a Republican person becomes president. Or if you're on the other side of the aisle, don't wait until a Democrat becomes president for you to start protesting about something, right? And that's what I always say to my people, right? The oligarchs, these people, the elite people that got money, they see this division, and what they do is that they would create, a little puppet and put a D on it, that puppet with purple hair, Latin eggs, all that. And then you put this puppet here on the right side with an R, looking all American, got a tattoo of all America, of America. And he's decked out with everything that's America and pro-America this. But then they telling you, yeah, we pro-America. And then they spend more money on other countries than you that it's American. Come on, man. Come on, let's wake up. Listen to this podcast. I'm not even going to say listen to it. You're going to listen to it. The education that you're going to get here is going to be crazy. Once again, hit that like, share, comment. If you want to talk to me about a couple of whatever it is, let's make it happen. I'm out. Peace. Catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Think independent. Think on your own. Once you think on your own, believe it. Believe me, you'll become what you will become. Woo! Let's get it. I'm out.